The next question in everybody's mind is about diagnostics, and then who better than Dr. Amita Jain, who led the efforts of the UP government and the UP in containment of COVID all over North India. She would then talk about, she'll address the issues of diagnostics of this or the other variant. Dr. Amita, please.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. So can I have the first slide, please? So I think, yeah, so I bring you greeting from the institute where I work. It's a very beautiful institution, lovely architecture, King George's Medical University. Next, please. Before I start, I'll tell you that whatever I'm going to present is actually only from the experience and from the published literature. And Dr. Ekta has done a wonderful job giving a very, very wider perspective to everything, including the diagnostic. So that makes my job easier. What I'm going to tell you is about what are the concerns regarding COVID-19 diagnostic in reference to current pandemic. I'm not here to teach you RT-PCR and things like that. We will just taking the basic questions and looking at the answers. So there are 4 type of tests which we perform: molecular, antigen detection, antibody detection, and some other tests for management of diseases. I'll be just speaking few words about each one of them. Next, please. So what are the current concerns? Concerns are, will we be able to use the same RT-PCR or nucleic acid amplification test kits which we were using till date? Shall we be able to use the same rapid antigen detection tests? What will be the use of? Okay, so it's okay. So when the answer to the first question, will we be able to use the same RT-PCR kits which we are using till date? So my answer to this is yes. Next, please. And why yes, I'll just explain briefly. Next slide, please. So there are many platforms which are available for nucleic acid amplification tests. The most widely used is real-time PCR. There are automated machines and kits which are available, and that is the most utilized platform. Other than that, there can be conventional PCR tests, digital PCR, isothermal amplification techniques like loop-mediated, transcription-mediated, recombinance, polymerase amplification. Next, please. Next slide, please. Then there are CRISPR-based the previous one, please. CRISPR-based nucleic acid amplification tests, digital microarray-based next-generation sequencing. So when this pandemic struck, everybody was looking for some gold standard, which is never going wrong. So there were a lot of technologies, every possible existing technology was tried, and there was a kit in the market. But if we look at the summary, next slide, please. So these are the basic formats which are available: real-time PCR, loop amplification, TMA, RPA, CRISPR, digital, microarray, and NGS based. And if you look at the key features, the gold standard even today remains the RT-PCR. It has very high sensitivity, and this is most often used test in routine diagnosis. Other than that, some are used as a point of care test, some are used only for the research purposes, some are more used for the surveillance purposes or the variant analysis like next generation sequencing. But I think our focus should be today on RT-PCR only. Next, please. So Ekta has shown you this beautiful diagram, and she has very, very well explained the genome of SARS-CoV-2. Taking from there, we'll say that it's a long sequence. There are 30 kilobase RNA molecule, and it has on both the ends, it has polytails. So some part of this gene, commonly which are used, I'll show you the targets in next slide. Next slide, please. So this slide Ekta has covered. So there are many targets which are being used. Most of the kits use more than one gene. Why? Because it improves the sensitivity and specificity of the assay. This also does not allow the kit to be not to be used when there is a mutation occurring in that area. So most commonly used one of the gene which is to detect all coronaviruses, probably, as Dr. Ekta has already said, that E gene is least mutated. And in most of the coronaviruses, this gene is quite similar. So many assays use it as screening gene. Then open reading frame 1AB, which codes for RDRP enzyme, and this is used often as a confirmatory targets in many protocols. So there are many commercial assays which use E gene and RDRP gene, and one as a screening gene and the other as a confirmatory targets. Next, please. Then other genes which are used are the N gene. N gene shows sometimes this is a very abundant gene. And when we choose any gene, we look at that how sensitive, how stable is this, and how much is the abundance of that gene. The N gene is very abundant gene. So it provides high sensitivity to a diagnostic kit. So many commercial assays use N gene as a screening. S gene kind of have been removed. Initially, people started using it. Then they removed it because Ekta has already explained that it may affect detection. There are some variants where this was missed, and so this gene has almost been removed. Then open reading frame I have already talked about. So there are assays which use more of 2 genes minimum. One is for the screening purpose and the other is for the confirmatory. One has to be sensitive, the other one has to be specific. And at this point, whatever mutations are occurring does not cause any concern, which may miss the detection. So as of now, there are nobody has reported any missing gene concern. Next, please. Except one which we initially saw for ST. So my second question is, shall we be able to use same rapid antigen detection tests? These are another tests which were used as point of care tests, and they have been very commonly used initially at the time of pandemic. So can we use the same antigen detection test? My answer is yes. Next, please. We can use the same. There is no need to worry in this also. Why? Because these antigen detection tests detect the viral proteins. They use antibodies to detect the antigens as target, and most common target is nucleocapsid protein. Why? Because it is produced in abundance and can be easily detected. This is not often changing. So it's a least changing protein, produced in abundance, and has been used. Next question is, what will be the role of antibody detection tests? My answer is same as above. Next, please. So there's no change of that. Serological tests are not the tests which are used for diagnosis. They are used more for surveillance purposes, either post-infection or post-vaccination. N protein is usually used as a antibodies against N proteins are used to see the post-infection. And antibodies against spike proteins are neutralizing antibodies, and they are detected as after vaccination. They have no role in diagnosis. They are only used for surveillance purposes. Hence, we do not have to worry about it. And none of the protein till date has changed enough where these assays will go waste. So there are methods which are available in form of ELISA, CLIA, and lateral flow immunoassays. All will be working fine. There, none of the proteins, these 2 proteins, N proteins or spike proteins, have changed enough to cause failure of these tests. Next, please. And so these are the proteins, and Dr. Ekta has explained so well about it. So I think in favor of time, I will miss these slides. But this is where I tried to show how nucleocapsid protein has changed, and the changes are not big enough to miss the detection of both antigen and antibody. Next, please. So this was for N protein. This is the S protein. And this is one paper which I will definitely recommend. Everybody can go through it. This is the latest one on variant Jain.1, which has been published from Tamil Nadu. It talks very well about the clinical characteristic and novel mutations. This is to talk about the S protein. And you can see all the changes which are occurring. They've compared the S1 subunit and S2 subunit from the original Wuhan strain and then from BA.2 strain. There are many changes, but none of them are big enough to miss the detection of antibodies because these are all polyclonal antibodies. Next, please. So this is about the S protein, the structure you can see, and the changes as a red dot you can see. So there are some amino acids which have changed, but basic nature and the folding of the proteins have not changed enough to cause that missing the diagnosis. Next, please. So these are various mutations which Dr. Ekta has already talked about. None of them says that it will miss the diagnosis. They impact the pathogenicity, they impact the immune evasion, they do a lot of things, but not the diagnosis. Next, please. So these are few more mutations they talk about. In the spike protein is most changed. The last part is, will we need any other or more tests to monitor COVID-19 in COVID-19? No. Whatever we were doing is good enough. We do not have to change our strategies. Whatever tests we were doing to monitor COVID-19 are still good enough, and we should be using that. And just a glimpse at what are these tests, and then I'll finish. Next slide, please. So we were doing some hematological assays, which are CBC, coagulation profile, some inflammatory markers like CRP, ferritin, interleukin 6, procalcitonin. Next, please. Some biochemical tests to measure the liver function, kidney function, LDH, tissue damage marker, troponin, and BNP. Looking at the gases, arterial blood gases to see the oxygen saturation, and some microbiological tests to detect co-infection. There are many multiplex PCR panels which are available, which are being used by most of the laboratories for doing it. So we have to go ahead with the same. We don't have to change in any strategy. Every hospital has some strategy to monitor severe COVID patients, and the same strategy should be used. So in nutshell, I will say, next slide, please. You need not change anything. Whatever we were doing, we have to go ahead with that. Though we have to understand what we are doing, we have to be prepared, and we don't have to panic with this. Thank you very much for this opportunity, Dr. Ashok.
Thank you very much, Dr. Amita. If Dr. Ekta explained the virus very well, Dr.
Yeah.
Amita has given the reassurance that whatever diagnostic test you have would work.